Welcome back, everybody, to Occult Perspectives. Tyler Smith here. So, we're going to go a little off track today. Completely changed my mind. I was going to cover like the hierarchy or morals and dogma again, but today's video is about love. Yes, love. Might seem like a really basic topic, maybe? Well, I wouldn't say that because everyone's definition of love is slightly different, and love can be one of the most liberating things. It can be one of the most confusing things sometimes, and sometimes it really can tear us down in the end. There's a really good video that Alan Watts does, you should look it up on YouTube, about love, and he refers to when people find each other, they fall in love. Why is it fall in love? Because in the end, he says, at the end, you really have to give it up. It's they say that everyone dies or whatever. I like to transcend this whole view. We can only rise in love. We have to realize that we are all individuated sparks of the one divine consciousness having a physical experience here now to experience these things, so we don't ever really go away. There is no real dying, and I would say love never needs to fall. Why fall in love? Why not rise in love? So we can take these ideas of love and transcend them. And I'm also going to be getting into twin flames and soulmates and what the difference between those two are, and the three different types of Greek love: Eros. Check what the other two are: Agape and Philos. I had not prepared any notes prior to this video, so it might be a little rough. I'm going to be kind of looking around for information a little bit, because I'm going to combine what I've previously researched with kind of these articles I found here today on the internet. They were kind of just basic articles, the first ones that came up when I looked on Google and typed in soulmates and twin flames, and then the three different types of Greek love. And then before I proceed further as well, I want to go to the old notion of, and in Freemasonry, the three great tenets of a Mason's profession in Freemasonry is brotherly love, relief, and truth. You always have this idea of love, but it's oftentimes called charity too. But when we think of charity, we usually think in terms of monetary donations and such. But charity is really synonymous with love, because on Jacob's ladder, you had the rungs of the ladder. You had faith, the three rungs: faith, hope, and charity. And they said charity was the greatest. And why is this? Because love really transcends time and space. It goes beyond time and space. So this just reaffirms the idea and the infinitude of love. So really there is no falling in love. Sometimes we get hurt and we make mistakes, and we just go down wrong paths. But in the end, we're always learning. If our hearts were in the right place, we taught the people who hurt us, maybe a lesson. Maybe nobody really wanted to hurt the other person. Maybe it was just time for those people to go separate ways. Whatever it is, but I think everyone ends up, being with the person, that they're meant to. We vibrate what we put out. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So someone who's vibrating on that same vibrational frequency, that's what you're going to attract. One of the things that I get kind of caught up on is, why all these deviations? Why not just meet your true love, from the get-go? We were meant to have experiences before, you meet up with your one person or whatever. And I truly believe there is if you really want to take the relationship with that person to the next level, and you want to transcend, these worlds together, these spheres of existence, as we see here on the Tree of Life, ascending that true ladder back to source. If there's another soul that you want to complete this journey with, I think that's totally a thing. I think we have so much free will. So we get to choose the other aspect of God or creation, that reflection or that spark. We get to choose who our favorite person is. And I think that's really cool, because when we learn to let go of ego and a lot of the other things that kind of like we put up too many shields and such, a lot of the time, but learning how to love everyone while also remaining, sacred in our, love with our partners or whatever. It doesn't mean we can't show love for the rest of humanity, and that's what we're about to get into in this video now, as I kind of reference these articles real quick. This is called 3 Types of Love, Eros, Agape, and Philos. It was submitted March 6, 2019 by Ashley Uzer. Not sure if I'm saying that pronouncedly. Uzer. So anyway, this first love, Eros, this is like the romantic love. And, in a lot of strict like religious societies or whatever, this isn't always deemed like a positive thing. It's like, oh, they're just lusting or whatever. And it's said sometimes in the context of the Greek society, it would be this way. It would be sometimes viewed in a negative connotation. But true Eros love, that it is that spark, that passion. There's, having physical attraction is not a bad thing. It's when it becomes this perverted, like just pure bestiality. That's probably not the right term. Not what I'm talking about, but just a beastly, carnal, version of sharing that passion rather than a true, wanting to understand that person's soul connection kind of thing. That would be like the divine version of Eros, the positive version versus the carnal version. That pretty much covers that real quick. This is called, I don't know if it's pronounced Philia or Philia. And of course we see that, I guess that would be not a prefix, but a suffix after, some other words that we all know. So must be many different kinds of, Philia out there. But the Greeks considered this the ideal love. And today it would resemble something, let me just grab the laptop. Hold on to this coffee, not even drinking it. Okay. It would resemble basically brotherly love. It was about showing loyalty, giving sacrifice, noble forms of love that don't involve sex. Gets into a little bit more of it here. Let me see if I can just sum it up real quick. The best kind of philia, he said, is what blossoms out of Eros. So if you're just equating Eros to just the passionate, then he says that can bring about more of this type of a relationship, a positive philia or philia relationship. There's another type of love that they say kind of falls into philia or philia, and depending on how you look at it, it's called storge. And storge is the love it's inherent love. It's like love between a parent and their children, parents and children. That maternal or that paternal aspect, that would be more of that storge type love. Agape, it's a little bit more abstract, but this is basically the universal love, charity, altruism. This is total, like what I would consider unconditional love. It's the type of love, you kind of feel like, for instance, maybe you're at the grocery store or something, and somebody just needs help, finding something. You can tell they're having a rough time. Maybe they just need somebody to, tell them, hey, you're cared for. Like people love you. You have a real purpose on this planet. Anything that's positive, and that would be, exemplifying that type of love. That agape. So that sums up the 3 types of Greek loves. And then I'm going to get into this article. It's called The Difference Between Soulmates and Twin Flames Explained. It's written Mind Body Green, editorial assistant by Sarah I'm not sure if that's Regan or Reagan. It's spelled R-E-G-A-N. But anyway, to get into it, the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate. So, let's see if I can draw a little picture to help you kind of visualize this a little bit better. There's a guy on YouTube, I want to say his name's Aaron, I'm not sure, but he has all kinds of spiritual videos, and if you want to know the link to this video, I could probably find it. He has a really good, he's a young guy, real bright, and he has a video on the difference between soulmates and twin flames, and he does like a diagram type thing like this, and this is kind of where I got the idea. So he's the one that taught me this. Let me see if I can just go ahead and kind of, I'm not the best artist, but you'll get the picture. All right. So a twin flame is actually believed to be the other half of one soul. It's like a mirror of each other. And I've used this mirror term before, or I've just not only used the mirror symbology, but it really is true. You know, there's times when you look at that person and you think, wow, this person really is just like an aspect of me. It's really crazy when it gets, you know, that intense. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between twin flames and soulmates. But with the twin flames, they say it actually gets kind of, it can get kind of crazy, because if it's the same soul, like split into two groups, like these mirrors looking at each other, mirror souls, if you will. Twin flames are generally described as two individuals who very intensely connect, usually as a romantic partner because of a shared pain. Twin flame relationships aren't necessarily about love, and it often requires a great deal of inner work for two twin flames to make a partnership work. According to her, there's a common misconception that twin flames are supposed to complete each other, but this leads to unhealthy dynamic between the two, is because the two people, it seems from what she's writing, the only way you're going to make like a true twin flame relationship work is if each person's really their own person. Like they're really, you know, grounded in their individual lives and kind of their own interests and stuff. Here she goes on, it's hard to tell the difference between the two at times. You know, familiarity, deep attraction, deep connection, you know, blah, blah, blah. Kind of the same thing we hear a lot of the time. The soulmate, though, is not it's not like another half of the same synapse. So here I'm going to kind of use like this diagram, a really bad picture. Here's like source consciousness, and then it branches off into these little things. And here's like a soul family over here. You know, maybe you incarnated into this life with all these people for a reason, and here's another soul family over here, or whatever. It's just a mass of souls, but they're split into different groups. And soulmates can come from different groups, like branching off of source. And soulmates aren't just romantic partners. These can be best friends, just people who are really close in our lives and who, you know, fill us with a lot of love and such. So soulmates can be in these like different, you know, conglomerates here, but then on each little family that's incarnated, soul families, if you will, or whatever you want to call these groups, there's like two on the end here, and this would be like a twin flame. And that's kind of how this, I think his name's Aaron. I'm really sorry if that is not correct. I'll have to remember that for future videos. But these are the twin flames right here. So as you can see, it's more of like the same soul, but just split off. Kind of just a little visual, not the best visual representation, but it is something to show you. But one of the problems that comes up with twin flame relationships is your twin flame can mirror your own issues. This includes unhealthy habits or imbalances. In addition, when twin flames are apart, they may have a hard time functioning. And I mean, you know, this happens with a lot of partners. It's like when you're not around your special person, you know, sometimes you feel lonely. It's like you just don't have the, you know, motivation to do those things. But usually you'll find in like a really strong partnership that they're just really strong individuals. If they're doing the inner work and they're doing the inner healing and such, they function really well apart as well as together. But there are times, we miss our person, and that just happens, and that's okay. It says in the twin flame relationships, you can also end up defining your self-worth by the relationship. This makes them great for encouraging growth and awakenings, but again, difficult to make work in the long run. Soulmates can make a more stable relationship. It says that twin flames and soulmates, no, you can't usually be a soulmate. It says, by definition, no, soulmates cannot be twin flames and vice versa. Soulmates are different souls that we encounter on our path, often sent to help awaken and challenge us so we can become a better version of ourselves, whereas a twin flame is the soul split into two bodies, the same soul split into two bodies. Twin flames cause personal awakenings but may not be your soulmate. Interesting. I think the best would be maybe a union of the two. So you would have to make this work with your twin flame. When you've established a true union, and you've really, I'm not even saying you have to be technically married. That's not even what's important. It's that it's more about the recognition of the essence of what the love is. And when your love gets to a certain level, you can expand it outwards. And what I mean by that is that you two as a partner, or whatever kind of partnership you've established, can go forth and do the great work. That means to teach other people about these things, to help teach people, to teach them about themselves so that they can wake up, become more aware of these things, and then we create more freedoms for humanity in the long run, and that way the people that are really meant to be together can be together. They'll end up being together. If we go more with the divine flow, we won't have to deal with these old karmic, attachments that weren't really what we were, or what we are. We just got stuck in the moment in a time where maybe we were in a really, vulnerable place, and we just made a wrong decision, or in the end, it's all just learning experience, even if it is a bad, circumstance. Sorry, I'm getting a little off topic there, but I just wanted to put some more input in there. What else does he say here? Both soulmates and twin flames can be considered karmic relationships, as they both involve growth and healing. Spinelli explains the karmic relationship is like a teacher or guide, but they are temporary, she says. A twin flame relationship and a karmic relationship are similar in working through life lessons. And kind of what I was trying to say before, too, is I think the best would be a synthesis between the soulmate and the twin flame. That would be kind of cool. And that's where the whole doing the great work comes in, rather than just being so caught up in your relationship and the egos of each person, and the damage and the negative karma that maybe a twin flame would have to work through. Maybe they can work on it says they can't be a twin flame and a soulmate, but I think anything's possible. It's really up to us. So if you've integrated all your self-work, you've done the work, you're both strong as individuals, and that's the person you choose to be with, that's the person who you love forever, basically you want to ascend with and everything, that's where you can really jump into the great work as a team and independently to kind of, so it's almost a little bit of both. It's a synthesis in a way. It would have aspects of both soulmate and twin flame. Here he's saying to kind of, I'm sorry. It's a she, or no, this is Kaiser. So they're talking about somebody else in this article. I'm not reading all of it. I'm just kind of hitting the key points and stuff. But in the end, it all comes down to someone's own inner growth. While soulmate relationships are often less intense, twin flame relationships can be extremely chaotic. Twin flame relationships can be much deeper and more profound than a soulmate because they lead to wholeness, Kaiser says, but that's if both people have done their soul work, as I was saying before. I'm just kind of wrapping this up. Soulmate can be friend, romantic partner, as we said before, or family member. Twin flames are intense, come together to work through life lessons or achieve something greater, the great work. as we were saying before. Neither is better than the other, they are just different. So really, yeah, one's not better than the other. We have something to learn from every kind of soul connection that we have. It's important. It's important to realize that in the end, we're all different aspects of ourselves. Infinite awareness, divine consciousness, God, source, whatever we want to term it. The true name of the Lord is the unnameable name. Otherwise, how could it be the name of God if it could be named? That would be, God's so powerful that it's the grand mystery. It's beyond, like, the veil, so to speak. Beyond the Ein Sof, or even in Kabbalah. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like my videos if you like what you see. Hope you all have a great day. Peace and love.